Imagine not eating for 5 entire days. No breakfast, no lunch, no dinner. Just water, minerals, and the mental challenge of watching everyone around you eat while your stomach demands attention. Your coworker brings donuts at 10 in the morning. Your family sits down to dinner while you sip water. By day 3, you're supposed to be weak, right? Barely able to think straight, let alone function. Here's what actually happens. Your body doesn't break down. It rebuilds. Stem cells regenerate. Your immune system reboots. Damaged cells get recycled into fuel. And the process behind all of this, it won a Nobel Prize in 2016. Sounds extreme. People all over the world are doing it, and science shows something remarkable happening at the cellular level. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly what your body does when you give it 5 days without food. Not just what you'll feel, but what's happening inside every cell. The biology is stunning, and by the end, you'll see hunger completely differently. Before we go further, quick note, this is educational content, not medical advice. If you're pregnant, breastfeeding, have an eating disorder, depend on insulin for diabetes, have chronic kidney disease, are underweight, or take medications that require food, this isn't for you. Talk to your healthcare professional before attempting any extended fast. This is about understanding the science, not prescribing a protocol. Now let me explain what's really going on. Think of your body as having multiple fuel systems. Glycogen is your mini backup battery stored in the liver. Insulin acts like a traffic cop, deciding whether fat gets stored or released. Ketones are your brain's backup generator when glucose runs low. Autophagy is your cellular recycling plant, breaking down damaged parts. These systems have been fine-tuned by millions of years of evolution, and they're about to orchestrate something extraordinary. In the first 12 hours, your body is running diagnostics. Glycogen stores in your liver start depleting. Insulin begins to drop. Your system is assessing the situation, asking, is food coming back soon? At this stage, most of the hunger you feel isn't real hunger. It's habit. Your brain expecting breakfast at 7, a snack at 2, dinner at 6. That pull you're feeling. It's not your stomach. It's your routine screaming at you. Think of it like a pilot running pre-flight checks before switching to auxiliary power. All systems functional, backup systems ready. No panic yet. Your body has a plan B you never consciously programmed. It's been coded into your DNA for millions of years, waiting for this exact moment. Mike, a 38-year-old night shift worker, told me about his first 12 hours fasting. He kept reaching for the coffee pot, not because he needed caffeine, but because his hand was on autopilot. He'd walk to the kitchen stand, then realize there was nothing to grab, and walk back. It took 6 hours before that impulse finally quieted down. That's the habit breaking, not the body failing. If you feel dizzy in these first hours, that's usually dehydration, not fasting itself. Water with a pinch of salt often fixes it in minutes. Your body isn't starving, it's recalibrating. By hour 12, your body realizes food isn't coming back soon. Now the real transformation begins. At 18 to 24 hours, something shifts in your brain. Ketones start appearing in your bloodstream. These molecules created by your liver from fat begin crossing the blood-brain barrier, and they bring something with them: mental clarity. BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor, starts rising. Think of it as fertilizer for your brain, helping neurons grow stronger connections. Here's the metaphor that makes this click. Your brain is switching fuel sources. Imagine going from a diesel truck, loud and smoky, needing constant refueling every few hours, to a Tesla. Smooth, quiet, long range, same destination, completely different ride. That's glucose to ketones. Now here's why this matters evolutionarily. Ancient humans went days between successful hunts. They needed sharp minds to track animals while hungry. Brain fog during fasting. That would mean death. You can't outsmart a predator or find water if you can't think straight. Natural selection kept the humans whose brains got clearer when food disappeared. The ones who got foggy and confused. They didn't survive long enough to pass on their genes. This is why Buddhist monks fast before deep meditation, why Greek Olympic athletes fasted before competition. They didn't have the science we have now, but they knew something the mind changes when you stop feeding the body. They discovered it empirically through thousands of years of practice. You might expect to feel weak at 24 hours. But here's what people actually report: a calm, steady focus. Not jittery like caffeine, not manic, just clear, like someone turned down the noise in their head and they can finally hear themselves think. If you feel worse instead of better by 24 hours, if confusion or severe weakness sets in, that's your body saying stop. Don't push through that. Don't be a hero. Real biological adaptation feels like clarity, not collapse. At this point, you're not just skipping meals anymore. You've crossed into a different metabolic state, and your cells are about to start something extraordinary. Between 24 and 48 hours, autophagy reaches therapeutic levels. Now, let me explain what that actually means, because this is where it gets beautiful. Imagine Marie Kondo walking through every cell in your body. She's holding up each protein, each organelle, each piece of cellular machinery, asking, does this spark joy? Does this still work? If not, it goes to the recycling plant. Broken mitochondria, those power plants in your cells. Recycled. Damaged proteins that could clump together and cause Alzheimer's. Broken down and cleared out. Inflammatory junk that's been sitting around causing problems. Gone. That's autophagy. And here's the story behind the science. In 2016, a Japanese scientist named Yoshinori Ohsumi won the Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine for discovering how autophagy works. He was studying yeast cells under a microscope, and he did something simple: he starved them. Then he watched what happened. The cells started eating themselves, pieces of the cell interior getting consumed by other parts of the cell. Most scientists would have thought destruction, cell death, the end. Ohsumi realized something different. This isn't destruction. This is survival. The cells were breaking down their damaged, dysfunctional parts and recycling them into fuel. He discovered the genes that control this process, genes that exist in every living thing on Earth, from yeast to humans. The same genes, the same process. The Nobel Committee called it one of the most important discoveries in cellular biology. Why? Because autophagy prevents the buildup of toxic proteins linked to Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, and cancer. It's your body's built-in disease prevention system. When autophagy declines, disease risk goes up. When autophagy is active, your cells stay cleaner, healthier, more functional. And it's happening inside you, right now, in every single cell. Studies have shown that enhanced autophagy is associated with increased lifespan in animals. It's linked to reduced cancer risk. It helps prevent the neurodegeneration that leads to dementia. This isn't fringe science. This is Nobel Prize level biology happening in your body when you fast. Sarah, 34. A busy parent, tried doing a 48-hour fast once a month for 6 months. She described it as hitting the reset button on inflammation. Her chronic joint pain, something she'd dealt with for years, became noticeably better. Not gone, but better. She said it felt like her body finally had time to clean house. Think about this for a second. Evolution spent millions of years perfecting this system. Your body knows how to clean itself. It knows how to repair damage. It knows how to prevent disease at the molecular level. It just needs you to step back and let it work. Now, this is powerful biology, which means you need to respect it. If you have chronic health conditions, if you're on medications, if you have any concerns at all, medical supervision isn't optional, it's essential. This process is real, and real biology requires real caution. By hour 48, autophagy is running at full capacity. Cellular recycling plants working overtime. But your body has another trick up its sleeve. At 48 to 72 hours, growth hormone surges. We're talking 300 to 500% above baseline levels. That's not a typo. Your body floods itself with growth hormone. And here's what growth hormone does. It protects your muscle while helping you burn fat. Think of growth hormone as the bodyguard who only shows up when food leaves the building. His job, protect the valuable assets, your muscle, while burning the reserves, your fat. And he's very good at his job. Here's why this evolved, and this story matters. Imagine a caveman who hasn't eaten in 3 days. If his body started burning muscle for fuel, he'd get weaker. His arms couldn't draw a bow. His legs couldn't chase prey. Too weak to hunt means he dies. Game over. No descendants. But if his body preserved muscle while burning fat reserves, he stays strong. Strong enough to make the next kill. Strong enough to survive until food comes back. That caveman lived. His genes got passed down through thousands of generations. You inherited that biology. Everyone says the same thing about fasting. You'll lose all your muscle. You'll waste away. But the reality is different. Growth hormone increases dramatically. Your body enters what's called protein-sparing ketosis, which means it chooses to burn fat instead of muscle. Studies on extended fasting show minimal muscle loss, especially when people stay lightly active. Your body isn't stupid. It won't burn the engine when it has a full tank of fuel sitting right there in your fat stores. This is the metabolic state that kept humans alive through ice ages, droughts, famines, and every food shortage our species has ever faced. You're not suffering through starvation. You're activating ancient survival programming, biological excellence that's been refined over millions of years. Your energy at this point should be steady, maybe even surprisingly good. If you feel severely weak, if you can't do basic daily activities, that's different from feeling hungry. That's a signal to stop and reassess. At 72 hours, you cross another threshold. Your body starts doing something that modern medicine is only beginning to understand. Between 72 and 120 hours days, 3 to 5, stem cell pathways activate. Your immune system begins to regenerate. Old damaged white blood cells start dying off, and fresh functional immune cells get created to replace them. It's like your immune system is rebooting. Think of it this way. Your computer starts glitching. Too many programs running. Corrupted files everywhere. System overloaded and slow. So what do? You restart it. Old programs shut down. Memory clears. Fresh start. That's what's happening to your immune system during an extended fast. In 2014, researchers at the University of Southern California studied cancer patients who fasted for 72 hours or longer before chemotherapy. What they found shocked them. The patients' immune systems regenerated. They could measure it in blood tests. Markers of old worn-out immune cells dropped. Markers of new healthy immune cells rose. Old white blood cells that couldn't fight infections effectively anymore died off. Stem cells, those master cells that can become anything your body needs, woke up and started creating brand new, immune cells. The lead researcher said it was like the body was clearing out soldiers who couldn't fight anymore and recruiting fresh troops. They called it a remarkable regeneration. They could literally watch the immune system renewing itself. By day 5, you're not the same collection of cells you were when you started. Some of your immune cells are brand new, born in the last 48 hours. You've witnessed biological regeneration happening inside your own body. This is why shamans in indigenous cultures fasted for vision quests, why spiritual traditions across every continent, Buddhist monks, Christian mystics, Muslim practitioners during Ramadan, Hindu sadhus discovered fasting independently. Different cultures, different languages, different beliefs, but the same practice. They didn't understand stem cells or immune regeneration, but they felt the transformation. They knew something profound was happening. Now let's be very clear about something. This is the edge. 5 days is the summit for most people. Beyond this, risks start outweighing benefits unless you have medical supervision. You've climbed the mountain. You've seen the view. Now it's time to plan your descent carefully, because breaking the fast matters just as much as the fast itself. Let me give you the real talk on safety, because this matters. Severe dizziness that won't go away, heart racing or palpitations, confusion or disorientation, vomiting, fainting. These are red flags. If any of these persist for more than 30 minutes despite drinking water and resting, stop the fast. Eat something small and talk to a healthcare professional. Your body's wisdom trumps any protocol, any video, any advice you've ever heard. Listen to it above everything else. Fasting isn't about willpower over wisdom. It's not about proving you're tough. It's about witnessing what happens when you give your body space to do what evolution designed it to do. Nothing more, nothing less. So after everything you've just learned, Nobel Prizes, stem cells, growth, hormone, immune, regeneration, autophagy, cleaning your cells like a microscopic recycling plant, here's the bottom line. A 5-day fast isn't about deprivation. It's about revelation. You're revealing what your body has always been capable of. The intelligence coded into every cell. The survival program that kept your ancestors alive through conditions we can't even imagine today. The biological systems that won Nobel Prizes because scientists finally caught up to what your body already knew. Not starving, adapting. Now here's where I need your input. Some doctors say never fast beyond 24 hours, that it's too risky. Others point to research showing stem cell regeneration at 772 hours and beyond. Some people call 5 days extreme and dangerous. Others call it returning to what human bodies were designed for, what our ancestors did regularly. Where do you stand? Not what you've been told by someone else. What does your gut say about this? What makes sense to you after hearing the science? Drop your honest take in the comments. I want to know what you actually think. And here's a challenge for you. Describe what's happening inside fasting cells in one word. Just one. I'll start rebirth. Now your turn. Drop your word in the comments. If this changed how you see your body's hidden intelligence, if you'll never look at hunger the same way again, share this with someone who thinks fasting is just starvation in disguise. Let them see what the science actually says. Hit subscribe if you want more videos that reveal what your body is truly capable of. Real science, real biology, no hype. Next up, I'm covering why breaking a fast wrong can undo everything you just accomplished. The refeeding mistakes that wreck your progress and how to avoid them. Thanks for watching. Stay curious, stay safe, and remember, you're more resilient than you think.